Hello there. Welcome back. It is good to see you again. I know last time you was in here, it seemed like yesterday really, didn't it? But now you have returned and you are looking, might I say, a lot more refreshed and a lot more at ease. So I take it that the little program that we put you on last time, that it did its job and you've been able to use that sleep routine and it's having positive effects on your lifestyle now. That's so great to hear. That's fantastic. I really am pleased that you went and approached me and decided that you wanted to get your sleeping pattern looked at and listening to these relaxing videos and those sounds and little tips that we worked on your previous visits, that it helped you sleep. And of course now you can reap the benefits of having that as your aid to fall asleep and anything along the same nature as what we discussed previously. Okay, so you booked in to see me today, and this, I'm glad that you did it. This is something we offer here at the surgery, but this is just a routine checkup, a routine test. Many people come in to get it done. It's not necessarily needed, doesn't mean that you need to get it checked, but it's one of those things that if there was anything wrong, you can get looked at. We can see anything in advance, which is always a great benefit when it comes to anything neurological. Today we are going to be doing a neurological reflex test on you, and it's not so much a test, so there's nothing to worry about there. I know some people it might make them feel just a little bit agitated, but it's none of those things. All we have to do is just, for you, is sit there and relax. And as I just instruct you to do what could be considered mundane tasks, but for you it's probably great to relax to and sleep. The whole process is quite sleep enduring, and if you follow those tasks we can check out all of your neurological senses. So it's quite an easy process that we're going to do today, though the results are going to be beneficial, and also you're going to find it quite relaxing and enjoyable. So by the time we finish up here, you either be asleep or incredibly relaxed. That's your choice. So before we begin, I'm just going to check some details with you, just in case anything has changed. I'm not expecting anything would have changed, but I have to do this. That is mandatory to make sure I check. So can I have your date of birth, please? Perfect. And your address, please? Excellent. And your name? Full name, of course. Not that I don't remember anyway. But I have to ask you these things. It's what it tells me to do. It's still a very lovely area that you live in. That's a really nice place around there. Okay. And previous. Perfect. So do you know what reflex test entails? Is it something you had done before? No, but it's similar to a cranial nerve examination. Are you familiar with that? Yeah, of course. You remember getting that done. It was your first visit, wasn't it? Yes. So it's kind of similar to that, but instead of just doing a couple of things that the cranial nerve examination would examine, this will be more me sort of doing gentle, delicate pinches on every single part of your body, and it's just testing your muscles, making sure there's going to be some form of reflex going on there, and also all the neurological points that are everywhere throughout your body. If I apply pressure in certain areas and get you to hold your hand in certain places, then I'm going to be able to check and make sure that everything is functioning normally. Usually I can tell this just with my eyes. I look at certain parts which I need to, and this can be easily determined whether it's functioning or not. But before we begin, have you had any pain or experiences in your body, anywhere, muscles, anything, any tingling sensations, anything along those lines? And when I say tingling sensations, not the normal tingling sensations that your sleep videos would bring you. Okay, that's great, that's perfect. So hopefully it's just going to be a nice simple little routine checkup for you. So what I'll do is that I work on a certain part of your body. Okay, I will become a little bit closer to you. Hopefully that's okay. And then I will be updating here on my iPad, pop all your details in as we go along, and making sure we're taking every single little bit to make sure you are fully examined. Right, so we're very meticulous here in the surgery, and I want to make sure that your experience here is not only going to be beneficial for you medically, but also you're going to feel comfortable, relaxed, and feel good, because that's what I want for you the most. Perfect. So you might find this a little bit mundane, following instructions, but when you get in the flow of it, you will soon easily get in the hang of it. Okay. Right. So what I'm going to start off with first, I'd say your arms. First, we pop that down. So what I require you to do is just put out your arm like this. We'll start off with your left arm, then we'll move on to your right arm. That's perfect, thank you very much. And what I will do is just gently pinch along your arm, and then do smaller pinches going up your arm. And this is just checking the muscles around your arm there. So if you can just hold out your arm there for me, that's perfect, thank you so much. Just little pinches there around your bicep. Everything feels fine there when I pinch it. Good. Feel that? Okay, good. Thank you. Now, a bit on your forearm here. Okay, so you feel that? Great. Keep feeling that. Perfect. You're doing a great job. Keep feeling that. Yep. And now, if I just hold that there. Yep. Perfect. And just hold it there a little bit for me as well. And I'll just give it a little tap again. That's great. Thank you. Right. So if you just let your arm go, feel incredibly loose. Just let it go. And I will hold it completely for you. Great. Okay. So I'm just going to wiggle it around just a little bit. Okay. Okay, and now if you can just try and pull your arm in and fight. That's perfect. And then push it down for me. Fight. Perfect. That's great. Okay, just pop your arm back there. So just update there on your left arm. Now we'll go on your left hand. Okay, so I'm going to be doing same sort of thing. This time just tapping certain parts of your hand, and then just pulling your fingers a little bit. Okay, and you just tell me when you feel it, and if it all feels equally. Okay, so if you just pop out your hand, your arm there, take your hand. It feels equal. Great. And same again. I just tap here, different points of your hand. It all feels the same pressure. Perfect. Thank you so much. Now if you just give your hand up, just pull on your fingers ever so slightly there. Okay. That all feels equal. Great. Perfect. Now if I just pinch into your tips of your fingers here. Great. And now if you could just look away from me, I'm going to pinch certain fingers. Okay, if you could tell me which one it is. Great. Great. Okay. 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 Perfect. That's great. And if I just get my pen here, I'm just going to have a little bit of a tip at the end there. If you just keep your hand out there for me, I'm going to run my pen tip down your hand. So if you can just keep looking distance and tell me if it all feels the same as I run it down. Okay, you feel all of that there. Perfect. And then notice that your hand sort of moves a little bit. That's a good sign of a healthy hand there. Perfect. That's great. So the same again, we will do it on your right arm. So we'll pop your arm down like this. I'll be just pinching along your arm, just little pinches along there, making sure that both sides are going to be equal for me, just like the other side. Okay, and then the same again along there. Okay, and then I'll be tapping at the bottom of your arm there, and then let your arm go loose again there. Does that sound okay? Perfect. Just take your arm. Okay, so the same again. Just let me know if one feels slightly harder than the other. Just on your forearm there. No, perfect, thank you. And now we'll do it on your bicep round there. So just little pinches. You feel that? Okay. And that. Perfect. And that. Great. And that. Okay. Thank you. And that. Thanks. And that's brilliant. Thank you. And great. So, if I could just take your arm again, if you can just make it go incredibly loose for me again, okay, just no tensing whatsoever, that's perfect. So I'm just going to shake it around a little bit, it feels fine. So once again, if you can just contract your arm there and just pull it towards you, fight, that's brilliant. And same again, if you just push it away, fight, that's great, thank you. And then just going to tap a little bit onto your elbow here. Keep nice and loose for me. That's great. Perfect. Right. So if you can just give me your hand again. That's great. So we're going to be doing the same thing. I'm just going to be tapping on certain points of your hand. Right. As it all feels equal, it's different pressure applied anywhere. That's great. You feel that there? Excellent. And you feel that? Perfect. So same again, just get your hand here. Just going to pull your fingers just a little bit. Each one feels equal. Well done. That's great. Okay. And now if I can get you just look behind me there. I'm just going to pinch on your fingers. Which one was that? Great. That one. Great. That one. Index. Great. That one. Thumb. Great. That one. Well done. And if I pinch those two, which one were they? Great. Just a little trick one there. Okay, well done. So everything on both your arms is perfectly healthy and seems to be in perfect working order. Now I could use my reflex hammer, neurological reflex hammer, but I shouldn't suspect there'd be any reason so far to need to use that. It would be up to determine what we need so far with you, just with simple motions that I'm able to achieve with my hands. But this time I'm going to get a little bit closer to you. Okay, we're going to check your head. So this time I'm going to be just doing some gentle tapping here and there across your head, and that will help me to determine that all the areas around your head are functioning properly, that you feel the same amount as I just tap around, and we switch between sides. So that should be quite simple for you. So we'll just go through this. So if you keep it nice and still for me, so I'm just touching a little bit around your head there. Okay, so that, as I apply pressure there, that feels equal there. Perfect. And the same again there. Does that feel equal there? Perfect. And the same again there. Does that feel equal there? That's great. Thank you so much. And if we just do the same again on the back, on your jawbone there, does that feel? That's great. Underneath there, that's perfect. And same again there. Great. Now we're just going to pop it on the top there in your forehead. Just let me know if it doesn't feel equal, but it should do. That's perfect. And same again, and the same again, and the same again. You're doing a great job. Well done. Okay, now with your head, if you can just rest it on my hand there. Now if you can just push your head down, fight. That's great. Same again, I'm going to apply pressure on your chin there. If you can just try and lift your head up for me. Fight. That's perfect. Well done. So now I'm just going to do some gentle taps around your head. So, okay. You're doing really good. Really well done. Okay, that's perfect. Now I'd like you just to blow some air into your cheeks. Me, I'm just gonna push it a little bit there, fight that. That's great. And now with your eyebrows, this is a little bit like a cranial nerve examination, but just slightly different. So just push down for me. That's great. And now if you can just push up for me, your eyebrows, lift them up as far as you can. That's great. Right, so if I tap there and there, how's that feel? About the same? Great. If I tap there and there, how's that feel? About the same? Great. There and there, how's that feel? It's about the same. Okay. So I'm going to apply pressure to one side of your face. If you can tell me which side it is, and let me know as soon as you feel it. Left side, great. Left, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, left. That's perfect. Thank you so much. Now I'm just going to do it on the back near your ears there. So if you can just keep nice and still there for me, everything feels normal around there. That's perfect. Doing a great job. Well done. Now, same again. Just checking around there. Everything feels no abnormalities around here whatsoever. So that's all seems to be in perfect, healthy working order. That's really great. Okay, so just going to hold there. Okay. There again. Okay. There. That's perfect. Well done. You've done an exceptionally good job there. Everything around your face and all the little procedures, the movements that we got used to there, everything seems to be reacting normally, and all the different movements and muscles around in that area, there isn't any cause for concern for anything. Nothing looks out of place here for me at all, which is a perfect sign. Nor I wouldn't suspect that there would be any issue just by looking at you. I can tell already that everything would seem pretty normal, but it's just that extra bit of close examination where I'll be able to determine if there's just like the tiniest thing to discover, but fortunately there isn't, which is good. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is just move down to your chest, and it's going to be the same sort of thing. I'm just going to be doing some gentle taps down your chest, so if you just feel nice and loose and relaxed for me, feel free to breathe exceptionally normally, okay, and just feel comfortable there for me. So we'll start off with your left side, okay, 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 okay. And everything feels normal around here. There's no pain or discomfort if I tap it there or there. Perfect, and that's great. Well done. Okay, and just slightly underneath your underarm there, so that all feels fine. Perfect. That's great. So we move down to your stomach now. The same sort of thing, just taps as we go down. If there's anything that I can detect, I'll be sure to let you know, of course, but I don't think there would be. And that all feels fine there. So if I apply pressure here and there, it feels the same. Great. There and there, the same. There, there, the same. And there, the same. Great. Good. So, just put there for me. I know it's a little bit cold. Perfect. 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 That's great. Just one more. Excellent. Great. So if that was just a little bit cool there, they always tend to be just ever so slightly cold, but that's obviously to check that there's nothing I can hear around in that area. Everything feels perfectly and sounds perfectly fine as well. Okay, so next we're going to move down to your legs. So it's almost a bit like having a massage almost. I'm just going to be doing some gentle pinches there, and then if I get your legs to go loose again, same with the arms, the same sort of processes there. Just going to tap at certain points of your legs and just tap here and there, and then if it flexes in the appropriate way, then of course that's fine, and that will be great for you. Right, so if you're feeling comfortable there for me, and you mind if I just come a little bit closer there as well? Thank you so much. So if you start off your left leg, so I'm just going to tap along there. Okay, that all feels fine, good. So if I do that, you feel that, okay, if I do that, you feel that, great, do that, you feel that, and that, well done. So if I just put my fingers either side there, that feels equal amount of pressure there, great, and there again, perfect. How about there? Great. And what about there? A little bit more on the right side. That's perfect. That's exactly what I was doing. Okay, and we do the same again. Just pop your leg there. If you just lift up your right leg there. Okay, if you can just feel that, and does that feel equal? Great. And that. Great. That. Great. And that. Feels equal. Great. Same amount of pressure. So just tap there. Feels fine. Tap there. Feels great. Okay. Feel that. Feel that. Feel that. Feel that. Feel that. So that's perfect. and get your leg to go loose for me. Now, if you can just try and kick out your leg for me, and I'm going to try and fight that a little bit. So if you keep fighting away from me, that's perfect. And the same again with your left leg. That's perfect. Now, if you can try and bring it in for me, now I'm going to try and push it away. So that's great. That's great. Oh, that all seems fine there. Okay, same again. If you can just lift up your left knee, fight. That's perfect. And your right leg, just lift it up there, fight. That's great. So that both legs, that's perfect. And both legs pushing out me, fight. Perfect. So if we just get you to pop your leg up there, so I'm just going to do around your calves here. If you just feel that it all feels fine there. Okay, and if I tap there, it feels fine. There, thank you. There, great, fantastic. And now if you can just take your leg up there, I'm just going to do some gentle taps there. You just let your leg go loose and no pressure anywhere, don't tense up anywhere, that's perfect. So I'm just going to shake it about a little bit, that feels fine. And I'm just going to tap it down. Okay, same again. That's great. So there's plenty of reflexes there. Same again with your right leg, just nice and loose, keep it going loose, perfect. I'm going to tap it just in the same spot above your knee there. Okay, perfect. So both perfectly fine, thank you so much. You can just pop your legs down there now. That's great. So as we do the neurological reflex, the last thing I would like to check is just the bottom of your feet. So it's the same as your hands. There's a lot of nerves around in that area as well, and you're very sensitive in both your hands and your feet, so that is an area which I always check as well with your feet. So it's going to be the same sort of thing. It's going to be a little bit of tapping here and there, and then I'm going to pinch your toes to make sure you know which ones I'm pinching, and then at the end I'll just take my pen, the little bit down there, just run them down your feet and make sure that they react properly. I'll tell you about that when I get to it. Okay, so if I can just get you to pop your leg up there for me, that's great. So I'm just going to feel your left foot there. Okay, that all feels fine there. So if I tap there, feels fine, good. There, thank you. There, that's fantastic, thank you. There, that's good. And there, that's good. Now if I pinch your toe, which one am I pinching? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. One pin your big toe. Okay. 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 That's great. Now, just take my pen. So you will feel this, but it's not uncomfortable. That's perfect. That's great. So with a very healthy foot, that once I do the pen around the bottom of your foot, then if it goes away or inside, if it curls up, then that's a sign of a healthy foot. If it goes out, then not so healthy, yours is perfectly fine. So do the same again here. If you can just pop your foot up there, that's great. So just tell me if you feel that, please. Thank you. Tell me if you feel that, please. Thank you. And that's great. That, perfect. That, and that, and that. That feels great. Excellent. Thank you. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 being the biggest toe. Okay. 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 Anyways, that's perfect. Okay, right. Feel this again. it's a little bit ticklish there. There we go. But that's perfect. Both reacted. Just pop your leg down there. So are you comfortable there? That's great. Well, we have come to the end of a neurological examination here, and like I said, it's quite a more in-depth test for the muscles and areas around your body where the cranial nerve wouldn't exactly normally look at and examine, but everything that we went through, we looked down on your chest, stomach, your legs, your calves, biceps, around your face, and everything, I'm pleased to say, everything looked perfectly fine and normal, and there's no reason to anticipate that there, like I said, would have been anything wrong, because your previous track record, you've been healthy and haven't encountered anything, and you've been looking after yourself as well as your mental ability as well, the ability to be able to sleep and keep healthy, making sure you get plenty of sleep when you need it, and that time when you need to relax, that you can relax, and that's looking after the other mental aspects of your welfare. But physically and neurologically, everything reacted perfectly, both sides. You're very in tune and can feel everything which I was doing, which indicates a healthy body such as yours. So everything is being updated here for your neurological examination. I'd like to thank you so much for coming in to get this done. Like I said, it's not something that you would necessarily need to get done, but it's always good to have it done, and it's best to get these things checked, and if there's just even the slightest thing, we can get it looked and seen to and help you in any way that we possibly can. Okay, so it was a real pleasure to see you again. I hope that you are keeping extremely well during this time. That's great. And next time that you want to come back to surgery, you know the process. We know you now. We're glad to see you here in the surgery and that you keep coming back to us. It really is a pleasure to make sure that you are feeling great. I've said it on many occasions that doctors and GPs sometimes might lack the patient, their doctor relationship, and their well-being. And it's something which I care very deeply about, which is your well-being. Anything that you're doing in your day-to-day life, you want to make sure that you've got the comfort and the knowledge knowing that everything with you is perfectly healthy. You can do things that you want to do, and you don't have anything which could be on your mind at all. That's not what I like. And if there is anything on your mind, come back to see me, book an appointment, and I'd love to see you again, and whatever it is, help you out with that, okay? So keep up with those sleep videos, like in the sort of sleep clinic thing we talked about last time, and take good care of yourself. Okay, cheerio.